Yes, hello, everyone. Thank you for listening in. My name is Müge Sümerol. I am the secretary as well as the coordinator for the communication group. So basically, I do all the talking. So this is why I'm here today to tell you about the Turkish chapter, which we name Building Smart Turkey. And I will also give you some background, some earlier background on how we formed our chapter, as well as, I'm sorry, trying to share the screen now, about what we've been doing. Okay. Now, it was, I think, either 2016 or 17 when like-minded individuals got together here in Turkey, including myself, that we wanted to transition the Turkish built industry, which is really one of the big ones in the world, because we do a lot of big projects all around the world. And we decided that buildingSMART would be a great platform for us to introduce all the necessary technologies that will be compliant with the rest of the world. And I really have to say that Richard Petrie had a lot in it, because we met him sometime in 2017. We had a great meeting. He encouraged us. He told us what to do. And buildingSMART Turkey owes him a lot. And so I just wanted to remind all of us his great work over the last, I don't know, since we've known him for the 5-6 years. So like I said, we did get together and we formed an NGO. So buildingSMART Turkey is an NGO. It is not a company. It is also located under a bigger NGO, so that we have direct connections to the government, to the municipalities, as well as to the universities and the people. And that means that we cannot sell our services, but we provide free and independent consultants to everyone who gets together. We don't have sponsors, we have members. We have company members and individual members and university members. We have gold members who pay more than the others. And we have silver members as well as bronze members. These are companies and they get a position in our steering committee. We have also universities. The universities are represented by individual professors. But again, the universities they act like NGOs, so they are private members. That's the best way I can put it. And we are closely related to the chambers. That's the one at the top you see. It's the chambers of construction engineers, as well as the foundation of architects. And we have lots of different associations that are formed in Turkey. These are professional associations working within the built industry. We have 29 company members and 9 supporting members and 378 individual members. All these are paying members. We also provide, especially to the students, free memberships as well. But that's actually a lot of people. And when we do get together, we do fill a huge conference room. And we have working groups. One of the reasons why we formed buildingSMART Turkey was to both inform, train, and also form the basis for the built industry in Turkey. So the first one is standardization and publication. We have 130 members, and we actually have so far published, and I will be talking about them later on, the BIM guides. We've also actually worked on the ISO standard, and we provided the government with our translation. I worked on it as well, and to make sure that it translated into Turkish perfectly. And we've also created the BIM object library. Now, the project development is interesting for us because we have a lot of construction companies in Turkey. We have design companies as well, but we do a lot of construction abroad. A lot of our companies, big companies, are doing airports and roads and metros and stuff like that all around the world, including Europe. And so we wanted a standard for them to follow. So when they go abroad and they talk to the other countries and other people, that we will be able to tell them that these are the buildingSMART standards that we're using. If you're using that, it'll be easier for us to work with. So it was a great way for the companies to reinvent themselves and to digitalize themselves in the proper order. Now, the technology, of course, we follow the technology. Unfortunately, we don't really create the technology, which we're going to get to it later on. Training is the PSAT program that we've been trying to become part of. Now, I will talk about the PSAT program later on. Communication, promotion, and membership, that's my group. I usually do the marketing as well as webinars, and also try to go the entire group into the right way of doing things. And we have started a university collaboration later on because we wanted universities to teach, because there has always been a confusion. Unlike any other sectors, the built industry is based on individuals who form their companies and they go and build whatever they want to build. But the people who are being part of their companies are not quite trained in the right way, so that every company does something else. We wanted to confirm them. We wanted them to conform to the real rules of building. We have a website that we have updated this year to match the website of buildingSMART International. We are very active in the social media. For some reason, a lot of our members want to be there, which is great because you usually get older people and they're not really into these things, but we're very active and we get a lot of feedback from that. And we share a lot of information from that. And one of the things that we do, almost all our publications are also published in the social media. That's available to everyone. Like I said, because we are the NGO, whatever we do, we have to share it with the entire country. This was good old days. We used to get together and we did a lot of conferences, and we did international conferences when we had guests from the buildingSMART International community. And that was really good before the pandemic. And after the pandemic, of course, we moved to I will say Zoom, but long distance conferencing. It was interesting the first year. In the later years, of course, the interest lessened, but we're going to be doing our first on-site real-time conference this month. And buildingSMART will take an important place over there. And then we will start our conferences again, which I will talk about later on, face-to-face, in a small room, directly related to the buildingSMART Turkey's activities. This is something that we did over the last year. We basically talked about what does OpenBIM and how it's implemented in the projects. Menno from Holland, Menno de Jong, started this conference, explained to us what he's done, what they have done both in Holland, as well as give us some really good background to all the people who joined us on buildingSMART International, and gave us some really good space presentations. And afterwards, we moved into the different sectors of the build industry, and we had people who have actually worked and presented projects. I'm not going to go into the project because we've been using BIM in our projects for the last 5 years, and we've done really good work, including the ones that I was part of in Dubai, Holland, Abu Dhabi, Kazakhstan. All right, this is something that we did as part of the both Quality in Construction Summit in 2019, and we had a special section for buildingSMART. Now, this year we're doing the bigger NGO that we are sitting under, that's IMSAT, that's the NGO for the manufacturing, for the construction people, are doing a very big summit called Sustainable Future. And we will have a separate section for buildingSMART. And we're hoping that we're going to invite again from people from buildingSMART International, including Mark Bolden. We're hoping that he will accept, because we have a dedicated session for PSAT program. That's a program that we're really counting on to expand the use of OpenBIM as well as the technologies that come with it. We, again, as you can see, we are really fond of Mark Baldwin as well. We had him translate the BIM Manager guide, and we've been distributing it as part of our campaign to increase the interest in BIM project management. Now, this is a good work. We've worked on this for about 2 years. This is one of the things that we've done a lot of what you may call it. Can't remember the word. Search among the people to find out where they find the open BIM difficult. We finally realized that the problem is the IFC. Now, almost all our users naturally are, all our members as well, are either Autodesk users or Allplan users and Solibri users. So when they look at BIM or anything to do with BIM, they look at it through the applications that they're using it. So we decided to come up with a guidebook that will be able to help them to create proper IFC documents that can be exchanged. So a lot of the people from industry, as well as the big companies, they got together and we actually created a guidebook that will, what it takes to create an IFC document and how you can use an IFC document, how you can actually work on an IFC document independent of the software that will be able to be part of the Open BIM. This was a very popular guidebook, by the way, and since the moment it's been published, the last I checked, that was like in 1 week, there were about over 350 downloads. So I don't even know how many downloads we're getting at the moment. We have also been trying to be part of the buildingSMART certification program. Now, some of you may not know, but the Turkish is rather a common language in the Turkic group that includes Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Azerbaijan, as well as some part of the Cyprus. So we have decided to go all Turkish as far as the PSAR. So we are making the English certification as well as the Turkish certification. We have at least 4 universities also interested in doing this. But the problem with the universities, like I said, because we are NGO and they are public universities, we have to come up with a way for the payments to move through without anybody making any money. And of course, maybe, not just because of the war or the pandemic, but we have had some really tough times with our economy. And our currency rate suddenly tripled in a matter of months. So thankfully, the PSART International decided to give us a hand, and they have reduced some of the costs, and they've helped us with some of the costs. So we've come up with a certain cost, certain way of doing business that we are hoping to start this month. So we've translated the documents, we have translated the questions and everything, and we have at least 2 professional companies that will be providing the training as well as the examination sometime by the time December comes around. Now, in order to introduce this, like I told you that we were we're going to be part of this summit, and we're going to invite Mark to come and talk about the PSART. Afterwards, we'll be talking about that in Turkish, and then we will start our conferences, our internal conferences with the PSART and introduce the PSART, and we were going to come up with as many as different marketing strategies to make it available to everyone. There's a reason why we're really spending so much time on the professional certification. We truly believe, based on our experiences, that we have to have some common languages to explain to everyone all around the world that we are doing this the same way. It's very much like internet. You can't come up with an HTML programming unless you obey some of the rules. So I can come up with a program here in Turkey, and it will work in the US, in Japan, in China, wherever you want. So this is the part that we're really paying attention, because based on our projection for the next 10 years, Turkish companies will be still active all around the world, and they need to have the right languages and the right way of doing business, like and including the BSTR databases. Now, that's the part we've really are existing. We have been trying to get the ministry and municipality to not only work with BIM-based projects, but to work it with ISO standards, as well as the rules and regulations that we put forward. So we've been working with the Ministry of Environment and Urbanization, so difficult for me to say, and the climate change, and as well as the Istanbul municipality. That's the biggest municipality in Turkey. And what we do is that we have worked on a couple of digital workflows for projects. We have cooperated on the contract specifications. Now, this ministry comes up with the contract specifications for all ministry and local projects. So we have been part of that contract specification program, and that will be published sometimes in January 2023. We have formed a BIM working group altogether to implement all the right IFC rules and everything. Now, the last part is the most important part. In a country where the economic turmoil has been worse than everyone else, you have to explain the return of investment. So we've been working on a cost estimation study specifically for BIM-based projects for architectural and engineering services. So the country itself can see that, yes, it does tend to take longer. It does, you end up paying more to the architects and the engineers for it, but the return is bigger. So that study has been really interesting for all of us. It turned out to be a lot better than this. And please don't ask me what the results are, because they're not published. I cannot really talk to you about this, but they're all in Turkish lira. So when it is available, we will be sharing it with the buildingSMART International as well, to see what, a country like this, how much of a return of investment can happen if you use the IFC and Open BIM structures. Similarly, we're doing the same thing with the Istanbul municipality for the metro projects. Metro projects are interesting because they're not just roads and bridges, but they're also buildings under the buildings. And in a town like Istanbul, where you have, I think it's the last they checked was 17 layers of older countries, cities. And so it is really difficult to do any excavation without running into some sort of old roads or maps or old buildings, really old buildings. So this is one of the works that we've been doing with using it. And we've been looking at the crossroads a lot for this, because London is running into similar problems as we do. So, but we have, I really don't know what stage they're at this moment, but I think they're getting together and talking to the English counterparts, trying to find out what is the best way to build something on a really, really, really old town. So that's about it about Turkey. This is really a very quick breakdown of what we've been doing here. And we have shared some of the documents, and we will be sharing the results later on as we develop. As you can see, we're mostly working on, right now, with the government, trying to make them set up the rules in line with Open BIM IFC. So thank you for listening. I hope this is a complete presentation of Turkish chapter.